Hi, I'm Terry Murphy, and we are delighted to have with us Summer Goralik. And she is a real estate compliance consultant and expert. And we are going through the top 10 mistakes brokers can make without even knowing it. And I think one of the most dangerous, treacherous, or boy, could we get in trouble, is unlicensed assistants. And I'll bet you have something to share with us, Summer.
Oh, if any client I ever hired just never had an unlicensed assistant, I would just be so happy. But of course, that's not the case. Unlicensed assistants, that's what makes the world go round. There's a lot of room for them to help in the real estate sphere. But the problem is there's a very fine line between unlicensed activity and licensed activity. And oftentimes, if a broker's not doing their job with supervising and reviewing and being aware of what those unlicensed people are doing, then there could be a violation there. DRE actually has a very helpful document on their website, and they just recently updated it in the last year and a half, 2 years. It's called Updated Guidelines for Unlicensed Assistants. It's basically a do's and don'ts of what an unlicensed person can do. You read through that and you will see, well, gosh, it doesn't take much, which is why a broker has to be very cautious in this area. And there are situations where brokers allow their agents to have unlicensed assistants. This happens all of the time. And the unlicensed assistant might have a contract with that agent. The broker, the responsible broker, still needs to know what's going on. They still need to have the assurance that there are no activities that are crossing the line. So they have to have policies and procedures in this area. And quite frankly, just education. If that unlicensed person knows what it takes to cross the line, that's half the battle.
And brokers don't realize sometimes, especially if they have really large offices, what some of those unlicensed assistants can be doing. Now, clearly there are some activities, stuffing envelopes, that kind of thing, don't violate some of the compliance rules. But what we're trying to do here is making sure the people who are licensed and educated are practicing real estate and not somebody who's doing ministerial acts. Would that be correct?
Absolutely. So if you have an unlicensed person on a phone call with a consumer, which makes my heart race a little more in my compliance world, and that unlicensed person says, hey, what were you thinking you wanted for your property? How much were you thinking about looking to sell it for?
Boom.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, well, we so need you. And thank you so much for sharing that expertise.